Hello and welcome to this edition of Into the Composer's Mind. My name is Byron Herman and this is the next installment in a series of YouTube videos about the thinking processes in the creation of my compositions. A few choristers have been asking me about how I make decisions on voicing when doing an arrangement of a piece, such as the Canadian Railroad Trilogy. There are several factors that influence this. One consideration is what is the nature of the sound of the ensemble you are writing for. And that can be a generic ensemble like TTBB, or a more specific ensemble such as the Nova Voce Provincial Men's Choir. In this case, this arrangement was specific to the sound of Nova Voce, but works well with any ensemble. The original music as well often influences these decisions about voicing. What is the nature of the song, verse and chorus? In this case, a trilogy with its inherent structural considerations. What is the emotional content, the rhythmic flow, the original accompaniment patterns, background vocal harmonies, key structures, and more. This is a long song with a great story to tell. So consideration needs to be made as to how to keep the choristers engaged throughout, and of course to keep the audience awake. This starts with who sings what part of the melody and when. So let me take you through that a little bit. Bass and baritones take the lead with verse 1, but at the end of the verse, tenor 1 takes it over for the last phrase in full 4-part harmony a cappella, with the important new C natural note appearing for the first time. This is repeated next in the bottom of tenor 2. The chord in bar 22 also is the first time we hear the train whistle chord, which becomes an important part in the score, in particular in the ba-ba-ba-ba train whistle sections. Verse 2 starts in unison, then the basses and baritones continue with the melody, with text and harmony punctuations from the tenors and the bass on the words, history has no bound. The second half of this verse sees the tenor 1 with the melody, with harmonies from the other parts, including a nice high D color from the baritones. Careful baritones, don't sing too loud. Ending in unison octaves for the words, the forest tall. Unison bar 45 on melody in the melody again, ending the verse with tenor 1 on the melody here. The ba-ba-ba-ba section at the end of this verse has been expanded as the train whistle gets louder as the train continues to move along. At letter B, we start the next verse again in unison followed by a bass, but this time we move into tenor 2 with the melody as the other parts swing their hammers in the background. The last phrase of this verse starts with a contemplative mezzo-piano unison as the workers think about their visions, followed by a loud forte as reality sets in. And this is first in the bass baritone and then in the tenors. You can see that the melody has been moving from one range to another, from unison to chordal to a cappella, and this provides a nice flow in contrasting sounds. My choice of which voices sing when are usually determined by my interpretation of the text painting I want to do, and as well as the original sound of the song. This leads us into this bridge section as the train again pulls out and slowly accelerates out of the station into the next construction leg. Lightfoot brilliantly now highlights the C natural and a C major chord throughout this section. This section continues loud, forte, and starts in 4-part harmony with the melody moving from part to part as indicated in the score. Hard to get the melody highlighted, but the harmony is the interesting part here. It seems like the voice leading in the vocal parts is a little angular here, but it allows for a beautiful variety of sonic textures and allows Nova Voce to shine. The next part of this musical bridge starts at letter D, with the iconic gentle triplets. And now the melody is again in the tenors with the train whistle chord underneath it. Pay attention to the words mighty land as the tenor 1 soars to the high F sharp and the baritone soar to the high D. This combination of first tenor on the high F sharp and the baritone on the high D is a really cool sound. Some of these ideas repeat in the next section, starting with the triplets again in bar 104. But this time the train chord has a new sound in bar 105, as the basses are higher than the baritones, before the basses drop down the octave. Second tenors here have the melody. A lot of plex voice leading happens in this harmony section, which allows once again for the beautiful sound of nova voce as crunches resolve. I know we are still forte, but bring these long tied notes to life always when they go over the bar line, as you support and lean into the harmony and the different crunches. Letter E brings the volume back down to mezzo piano, medium soft, and the melody, as in the opening, goes to the bass and baritones in unison. This section closes with full 4-part harmony with the melody moving from part to part. Again, it's the harmony that's interesting here. Starting in bar 129, we now go back to mezzo forte. And then we go back to unison in all the parts for a nice sound change we have not heard for a bit. The first part of the trilogy ends with a return to the A major chord with the important C sharp in the tenor 2. The train then grinds to a halt as we enter part 2 of the trilogy, starting in section F. Part 2 of the trilogy is an ode to the workers, where they came from, what they sacrificed, and what their dreams were. If you have already not done so, I suggest you listen to the commentary on the creation of this song, entitled Re-Examining Gordon Lightfoot's Canadian Railroad Trilogy. You can find it on YouTube. In this arrangement, we start with a solo voice on the melody with hymn-like chordal accompaniment. The melody then shifts to the baritone, for the most part, at letter G, again with full chordal, hymn-like accompaniment, kind of like the congregation singing the tune and the choir harmonizing. So don't overpower the tune. Just enjoy the harmony, but be careful as usual to keep the musical line moving. The a cappella repeat in this section is forte, loud, to really drive home the life of the navvies. At letter H, the train accelerates out of the station again as we enter the final part of the trilogy, the third and final ba-ba-ba-ba whistle section. This section up to letter J has the melody again moving from part to part, for the most part between the second tenors and the baritones. It is the developing harmony that keeps the listeners and the choristers' interests here, as well as the important storytelling from the choir. And don't forget the special effect in bar 249 on the words, a toast to the dead. This is followed by subito piano, suddenly soft at letter J, to start the final section in the third part of the trilogy. Letter J, for the first time we hear the tenors in unison on the melody, singing piano softly. This is a short 4-bar repeating fragment that Lightfoot has extracted and utilized a lot. Each repetition of the motive has a new dynamic and voicing, leading to the final fortissimo on the words teardrops. And for one last time after the pause in bar 276, the A major chord reappears with the C sharp in the first tenor this time. Letter K sees a repeat of the melody and harmony fragment of the first section until we get to the last words, when the green dark forest. Here the melody moves again from part to part as the harmony evokes this feeling of the silence of the dead men in the forest who gave their lives for this project. The accompaniment throughout tries to follow the driving guitar rhythms and harmonies of Lightfoot, with many piano color chords and expressions. It was quite exciting for me to bring this classic song to life and to try to highlight the character and story through the use of men's choir. I hope that those who sing it and listen to it will experience this story as well. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon as I take you into the composer's mind.